Right here is how they work out in space. This astronaut, let's call him Bartholomew, will experience loss of muscle mass and bone density. Here's a cross-section of how porous the bones got. Osteoporosis is when it's more porous, right? Absorbent and yellow and porous is he, like SpongeBob. So if your bones are more porous, they're more easily broken. But now they're saying it can attenuate the bone density with regards to size, but not all of the biomarkers, which is why they don't only do physical exercise, which they are doing, but up there it's hard to see, it says diet supplements. Now, no one shall ever forget that the supplements are the least important and the behavior and lifestyle are the most important. But still, if they are up there in space, they're going to optimize for everything they can. Plus, they don't even have the option to not lift and do the behavior and lifestyle. I just don't like it when people skip all this stuff and then go right here for the supplements. But the astronauts are not doing that. They lift almost every day and they clean an hour beforehand and an hour after. AI gives us a little different story than the previous quote. I guess the bones degrade 12 times faster up there than on Earth. Wow. This says it doesn't always prevent bone loss. People train at different intensities. But there's also hyper responders to resistance training and ones who don't respond well at all, so they are taking account for that. Whether the discrepancies in that come from training intensity is another topic for another day. So it doesn't always, but a lot of times it does. We have been able to attenuate it incredibly. It says here they take into account injuries. They have space physiologists that can help them modify. Harder to modify this crazy hydraulic machine than it would be to just do a knee extension, a lat pull, have those with the hydraulics. But then you have to have 10 times the space. So this is a universal effectively. This is wild about the bone fractures. What a dangerous job this is. Saying not all osteopenia is induced by the microgravity, and that it is from bone fractures and wounds naturally occurring during routine procedural operational stuff going on in the astronaut world. Wow. And if a fracture happens in space, that is poorly investigated. We need to look into that more. But you can't just go break the arms of people in space, which makes me, how frequent really is it? Just because not all people respond the same, they're going to have to say it like this. Partial protection. So this study's just pushing back, saying that it does not. Because this study said that the biphosphonate, which was all the other chemicals they were giving them, along with a lot more, along with resistive exercise. I've never heard resistance training called resistive exercise. Right, this one, they didn't lose any muscle mass or bone mass at all. Yet in this one they did, an N of 5 astronauts. I like my sample size to be 15, but we get what we can get when it comes to going to space. Not that many people go. I hate to be biased, but I'm going to go with this in the end. Advanced resistive exercise can attenuate post-flight deficits in bone density. I'm not claiming that all the biomarkers are going to be relieved by the resistance training, so pharmacological measures are going to need to also be taken. Not taken away from the resistance training, but they still need to figure out this second part. So if by chance you are going up there and you've never been a person who lifts weights ever, then start doing it, because it's most likely that you can totally attenuate it. Meaning getting jacked while being up in space. Wouldn't that be pretty cool? And you'd be saving the world. Stay lifting, and if you've ever lifted on one of these things, let me know. They got one in Houston and one up in space, so I doubt any of y'all have. But if you have, leave me a comment, duet this, whatever you want to do. Like and subscribe for more Austin Martin Fitness.